Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. How are all of you fine folks doing? Christine, good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Haley, told you I'd be back. Jamie, where are you? Ready for the cray cray? Yes. Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, we'll let some of the fine folks come filtering in. It was it was about a 2 hour stream. I was watching Bad Boys. So I will pause for this. I don't know. Bad Boy is pretty damn awesome. Um, so I will give you a heads up because the cray cray is going to get really super cray cray tonight. I tried something out to see if it worked. I talked to a couple people and I think that it will. If you're interested, it's going to go over exclusively to Rumble. At some point tonight, possibly. We'll see how far we get through this. I forgot how much you love that movie. The original one was awesome. The original Bad Boys was really good. Yeah. Original Bad Boys is one of my favorites. It was very, very good. Um as all of you guys know, we were doing the Disturbed series last week and talking about the twin flames. It's now you want to talk about some weird stuff going on. That's some weird stuff. And we do have more to this story. Um there's been some other stuff that's come up then, and it's probably not going to be new news to you. I also happen to have the documentary that was done on that, but I can't show it on the YouTubes. So if we don't do it this week, we will do it next week and then probably the following week. And then it'll be me going out of town for about a week. And then whenever I get back, we'll cover it again. Uh, Tia Leone in the first one. Yes. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Tia Leone. So I don't know if you guys got a chance to see my talk with Gutter Girl. That was fun. That really was. If you get a chance, eh, just just go over, give her a sub. Let's see if we can get that lovely lady up to her, minimum for because she's got the hours, she's got the watch hours. She's just working on getting her subs. So she's pretty cool. But I guess we'll get on with this so Jamie can get back to watching Bad Boys, because because it's the original. It's a good one. I also like My Name, I Am Legend. I like the book much better, but I think it gets the point across in the movie. Yeah. Like Will Smith is actually a pretty damn good actor. Just too bad that, he had to go sloppy. No, I'll pause for Shizzy. This is fun. This is fun. And Haley Roof giving a hello to the rabbit. All right. Well, here we go. Here we go with the cray cray. Let's check it out. Like Gwen Stefani. Shiz is bananas. Yeah, Gwen Stefani. Mm, mm. Yeah, I remember meeting her. That was not what I expected. She's tiny. Yeah, I love all the older Will movies. Yeah.
This episode contains adult content and language. This may not be suitable for all listeners.
That's good to know. I'm always glad that it's not suitable for all listeners.
And put a gun to my head.
Devotion.
She said,
to help run the business. Chief executive officers.
They just said, you guys are the chosen CEOs. Do you accept?
For a while now, Jeff and Shaleia had taken a step back from day-to-day management. They'd brought in others to help run the business. Shaleia told Keeley that being CEO was a position of tremendous power, authority, a position that demanded her complete devotion.
She said, if someone came to me and put a gun to my head and told me to stop doing this work, to stop sharing my work,
Engineered no doubt at the Super Bowl 20 years ago. That sounds about right. That would have been about the time. Was it 20 years ago? Yeah, it's about 20 years ago. A little bit over 20 years ago. Yeah, the drummer was sick and throwing up in a KFC bucket, and the stage manager got mad because he was wanting to play in the buff, but that's how he plays. So they were getting pretty angry. And yeah, I didn't realize how tiny Gwen Stefani was. Yeah, she's tiny.
I wouldn't stop and I would die first. And she asked if we would do the same.
Well, and what they're talking about, these folks are talking about singing Shania too. Wow, that would have been a blast, Hal. That would have been a blast. So where we sort of left off is they were talking about the coaches for these folks, and to become a coach, we're going to delve a little bit into that. The amount of cost that it was to people to become coaches for them, to basically take up the mantle and teach all of the stuff that these folks teach. Is she short? She is short, and she's got a little bit of a caboose. Not in a bad way. Some guys are into that, but yeah, she's small. She's short. Yeah.
It was like, whoa, like, okay, this is intense.
Keeley's first task as CEO came soon after.
I received an email from Jeff with an attachment.
A signed reading, over 100 pages. It wasn't unusual for Keeley to get homework from Jeff. In fact, soon after she first joined the group, he had told her to watch one specific documentary.
Wild Wild Country, which is a Netflix documentary about a cult.
Everybody felt they were there at the beginning of the great experiment, like we were the chosen people.
Yeah,
he was like, you got to be careful out there. You know, there's lots of spiritual communities that like to take advantage of people.
Another time, he recommended The Vow.
They sign a lifetime vow of obedience, and they're branding girls.
Another documentary, this one about the sex cult NXIVM.
And he told us we should write an essay about why Jeff is not a cult leader.
Yeah, that's one that I want to cover at some point, is the NXIVM group. 6'1", so yeah, most are short to me too. Al, I'm 6 foot, so yeah, most women are much shorter than me. Some of them are not, but hey, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I don't mind tall women. I've met women that are 6'2", 6'3". Not intimidated by it, especially if they're attractive. Nothing wrong with that.
He very specifically wanted to make sure that we did not think he was a cult leader.
To Keely, it was reassuring.
I do want everybody to know here that yes, I am a cult leader. It's a horrible cult. I'm really bad at it, and I'll never like do anything, for you good as a cult leader. Just so you know. So be prepared.
Jeff was anxious to make sure they all knew this was a safe community, and he was a good leader. But there was something different about this latest assignment. It was titled The Uninfectables by Jeff Ayan. It was the first bit of homework personally written by Jeff himself.
Oh, cool. Like, it's going to be a spiritual message or some sort of takeaway, something that would help me.
As she began to read, it became clear this wasn't a spiritual instruction manual, not even close.
No, I don't like it, Rick said, pushing away his father's third offer for a blistering, crispy hot dog.
It was a story set in Michigan, where Jeff had grown up. It started with an ordinary evening, a regular suburban family hanging out.
It's back on the hot dogs again. Jesus. What is it with these people and their hot dogs?
But then, the story took a dark turn. A zombie apocalypse swept through Michigan.
Yeah, it's the cult that talks about cults. It's so funny. We're so best.
Forcing the lead characters to consider drastic measures.
Jim fantasized for a moment about dragging Frank's smashed body out by the dick and rubbing his face into his dismantled fucking lawn. There was a lot of gruesome violence against the characters in the story.
Keely kept reading.
When is there going to be like a message or insight or something? Like, what is going on? I was so hoping he wasn't going to ask me for feedback because I did not know what I was going to say.
By the time she got to the end, Keely still didn't understand what this story was supposed to be about.
I don't think anybody did. Kogel's hot dogs are a big deal around here. Well, that's very cool. Hot dogs are lips and asshole sandwich. No, that's not true. A lot of people think that, but no, they're just not the like prime meat that you're always after. T-Rex, good to see you, brother. Me, I still like Nick's Red Hots down on Venice Beach. Nick's Red Hots were always good.
I remember feeling pretty hopeless and disturbed.
Keely shoved those feelings down. She was the new CEO, and she had a job to do. But in the course of doing that job for about a year, the story and the person that wrote it took on a different meaning.
I was on the floor just sobbing, screaming, begging for this to stop.
That's right. Beg. Big pause.
From Wondery, I'm Stephanie Beatriz.
Man, you guys are going to get me in trouble with your music. Stop doing that.
Angie Moggy's world. This is the Moggy's world entirely revolved around the Twin Flames universe. She'd given up her office job to focus on being a Twin Flames coach. She was still identifying as divine masculine, and her new coaches were working hard to find her another ultimate lover.
So in a year, I got like 3 twin flames, which really played a lot on my self-esteem. It's like, okay, like literally, it's not that people are rejecting me. They don't even want to even think of the idea of me being a twin flame. Like, how unlovable must I be?
But whenever she raised it, she was told that she alone was responsible. She just had to try harder.
I would just be called resistant. I would just be called not loving myself enough, not working hard, and it was getting harder and harder and harder. It's like, I have worked for so long, for so many years, I can't win.
And Angie was starting to sense that others in the group were experiencing their own frustrations.
I wasn't the only one in the community who was like slamming my car into like a brick wall repeatedly. And, you get to a point where it's like,
Don't do
damn
that.
well, something's up.
It would turn out that the misgivings went right to the top. On the morning of June 18th, 2021, Angie logged on to the Twin Flames group as per usual.
I woke up quite early, about 5 o'clock in the morning. I had opened up the administration email and had noticed that Keely had canceled a bunch of stuff. So I went on Facebook and I looked and I couldn't see them anywhere.
Keely was gone. She'd quit, along with her twin flame.
We regret to inform you that we have chosen to leave the community of Twin Flames universe because it is best for our health. We are no longer your coaches. Do not hold us in this place in your mind. We do not belong there. We did our research thoroughly, and we encourage you to do the same. Don't be afraid to ask questions and be honest with yourself and your experience.
Jeff and Shaleia were furious.
Shaleia and I are not for the faint of heart. We're really powerful people.
Imagine that.
And we're serious about the spiritual path. I acknowledge the difficulty some of you might have with some of these people leaving. And I also invite you to see on the other side that this toxic, gross filth that is being dredged up is being purified out. These people cause a lot of problems.
It was really toxic, really bad.
Mm-hmm. And no amount of support or, no amount of healing would actually cause them to change.
Does this not sound like a little bit of gaslighting here going on? Just like these people are toxic and everything that they're telling you is a lie and it's all because of them that this thing is failing, and it has nothing to do with all the good work that we've been doing. You guys need to hold strong. We don't need this kind of toxic thing in our group and blah, 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 blah. I mean, this sounds like they're just gaslighting all of their community of why these people left. I think they know what is about to happen is that whenever people actually start questioning this group, this Twin Flames group, whenever you start doing your own research into what these people are about, start sussing it out, stop listening to the lies, and start taking it for face value. Either you're going to be with them and you'll stay with the group, or you'll leave and you'll say, I've got better things to do. And maybe if I work on myself and not spend so much money on these folks, I can become, something that is attractive to other people.
Yeah.
Because they would sit and stew
In anger.
in sickness.
Yeah, and sickness.
So I have their email to their clients.
They went through the email point by point.
We've chosen to leave because it's best for our health. It's best for the health of your ego, undoubtedly.
Right.
This is a really, really sick person.
Very sick people. Mm-hmm.
Jeff went on.
We did our research thoroughly, and we encourage you to do the same. What does this really mean?
And on.
Maybe you're researching about cult. I feel like you're calling me a cult here.
They hadn't actually accused Twin Flames Universe of being a cult in their email at all. But even the suggestion seemed to send Jeff into a fury.
Because we have invested our entire lives into this system of thought and lifestyle, leaving it causes us financial ruin. Okay, so let's assess this. You're not responsible for their decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So their choice to go into financial ruin has nothing to do with you.
For her part, Angie had also had her share of issues with Keely. After all, she was the one who'd coached her to transition so quickly, to change her name, to pursue Victoria so aggressively.
I was glad that they were gone. And to me, I thought it was like, it's going to be so much better with them gone now.
But a few days later, Angie got a text message from someone whose opinion did matter to her. One of her best friends within the group, Shanice.
She says, I need to talk to you tonight. Can you get on it like a Zoom call? And I said, okay.
Soon after Keely had left, Shaleia had made a post on Facebook. It was called the Guru-Disciple Relationship Agreement, a set of rules and guidelines members would be expected to follow going forward.
It was a big, long post talking about like what would be expected from the disciple and what the guru gives in exchange.
Angie didn't really pay attention when it was first posted, but now she read what it said.
The purpose of your unconditional obedience is to follow the intent and spiritual guidance of your guru without resistance.
Without resistance. It was a declaration of absolute obedience to Jeff and Shaleia. Shanice wasn't happy. She wanted out.
She's like, there is no way in hell I would be signing something like that. No way.
Angie knew what that meant.
If she left, I would have to basically disown her. I said, I can't not have you in my life.
The thought was too painful to consider. And for a moment, Angie was at a loss as to what to do. But then, Shanice asked her a simple question.
What would happen to you if you left? She just said, you have nothing outside of this. You don't have any friends anymore. Everything, your livelihood, everything is all tied into this community. She goes, that's just not right.
Angie knew what people were saying about the group. But Twin Flames Universe was all Angie had. It was a place she felt loved and cared for.
I said, well, this is the way I like it. I don't know what's out there. All I know is what's out there wasn't working for me before. And she just kind of shook her head wow, it shouldn't be that way.
Yep.
The fact remained, Twin Flames was Angie's universe. There was no part of her life that wasn't wrapped up in the group. Friends, spirituality, and it was her main job, her main source of income, which is why what happened next hit her so hard.
I said, I'm barely getting by. I worked so much. My phone was going off all the time. I was always working. Plus, everybody wanted to work with people who were in harmonious union and stuff. So I didn't really have this really gigantic clientele. The little money that I did have, I was pouring back into more coaching, more classes. I said, I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and get a job.
Angie's coach said she'd write her a recommendation. But a week later, she had a change of heart. She sent Angie a message.
It feels like getting a job is an avoidance to healing poverty. It's going back into something that is familiar instead of choosing to change and grow.
Oof.
You want to invest your energy into something that is eternal in order to receive something that's eternal. Partnering and investing in TFU is a wise and huge investment. Think in terms of energy. Where do you want to invest your energy? What is the smartest investment? And think in terms of eternal, not just this lifetime.
Wow.
It was a gut punch.
When I read that, I knew right then and there, these people don't care about me. These
they
people
don't.
only care about how much they can get out of me.
And it wasn't just about her coach.
Life vampires.
It was all these people she'd thought of as friends. Her only friends. It was the entire organization, including Jeff and Shaleia themselves.
It was no, these people don't even see me as a human being. They see me as a resource, a machine. The more I was starting to see there's something that's going on here that's not right, I was beginning to notice how robotic the people around me were. It's almost
Yeah, Jamie, yes, she's whenever she starts to realize that all of a sudden all of her friends, all of her beliefs, everything about her, her entire existence. This is why it's so dangerous to not have something for yourself where you rely on other people to satisfy this kind of urge that we have. I mean, everybody has to be liked or to be seen or be considered. If you get stuck up in those kinds of groups, it can become very dangerous to leave those kinds of groups until something drastic happens. Something really drastic has to happen for these folks to actually leave, because they've tied their entire existence up in a validation. They're getting this validation from people of them telling them, you're good, you deserve this, you're a big part of this. And whenever you get to the point where you say, I have to move on, it can become very dangerous to have your entire identity tied up into one group. That's your existence. And this is something that people run into whenever they retire, for example, because they have the same thing, because they poured their life, their soul, everything about them from the time that they wake up to the time that they go to sleep has to do with whatever job it might be. And then whenever that job is over and they're not doing that anymore, they don't have any outlet to find fulfillment. Some people get smart and, they find hobbies whenever they retire, or they have other things going on that, that take their mind away from that, and they find value in themselves. And this is where it becomes really dangerous for groups like this, because they're preying on this kind of uh, commitment. And then they get chastised whenever they say, yeah, I mean, this is good for me, but now I'm wanting to take the next step, but I feel like I'm being held back from taking that next step. So, to everybody out there, you know, just realize this is probably a little bit like retirement. I don't know, as I haven't retired, but I have some friends that have retired, and some of them are just like, I don't know what to do with myself. I, you know, I'm I'm not taking care of kids or grandkids or anything like that. They're not that age anymore. I'm sort of lost, and I don't have any hobbies. And what do I do now? Um, some people figure it out. Some people don't. They get depressed.
It's like I was just looking in blank eyes and just really, really programmed people.
And why, Angie wondered, had Jeff and Shaleia
Yeah.
created this culture? Was it ego? Was it power? Did they even believe in the concept of harmonious union?
Twin Flames universe really doesn't have anything to do with Twin Flames. This is to make money for them.
Well, and they'll end up being empty, and they won't enjoy it. And yeah, I understand that that your in-laws are stuck. Mine were a little bit stuck. She actually started. She's going to be going to France. Mother-in-law is going to be going to France for an immersion course. She's been doing most of it online, but that's like her outlet, her hobby. And so she's going to be going for like 3 months and taking like a full immersion of French, which is pretty awesome. I mean, I think, she's finding a good outlet. Him, on the other hand, he's been retired a little bit less because she is older than him, but he's always been, into taking care of the gardening. Gardening is one of his like passions. So, he'll dig up plants and replant plants and weed and trim and mow and things like that. So, I mean, he does have an outlet, but whenever his knees stop working, I think it's going to be more difficult for him to find those outlets. So, sometimes it takes people a little bit less time. Some people, it takes a little bit more. For her, it took a couple of years before she found something that wasn't being assholish to people, because we can't take away from our time to, find out what makes them happy. But it happens.
Over the next week, Angie kept under the radar. When she wasn't coaching or working or attending meetings, she watched documentary after documentary on cults.
I want to say like something was off, but it was countered by all the good things and I couldn't quite reconcile it.
Because of everything I was told and the things he would say, I elevated him in my mind to somebody who really understood the human condition.
This guy's the Messiah and this and that. It's a cult, period.
They were some of the same documentaries Jeff had told Keeley to watch. But for Angie, watching them now had a very different effect.
Every episode I watched, I could see my community. I could see an element of like, we do that. we do that. They do that. They do this too. And it was like, holy shit, like it's all before my eyes. It was just, how did I not see this? How did I not see this?
On August 17th, 2021, Angie showed up to her coaching sessions as usual. What wasn't so usual was how hard her heart was pounding in her chest. She joined the meeting, and the faces of her coach, Brianne, and her twin flame, Adam, filled the screen.
You know, she'd been one of my longest friends in the community and stuff. I wanted her to know. In a non-confrontational confrontation, I guess you could say almost.
Angie steadied herself and got right to it.
I told them that I was leaving. And they said, can we ask why? And I told them. I said, I really believe that I was loved and cared for here, and this was my family. But your response to me looking for a job really revealed to me that that's actually not true, that you actually don't care about me. And they just kind of like looked at me like they had no answer for that.
They don't.
I said, I just want to move on with my life.
And that was it.
There you go.
Angie logged out of all of her accounts. For the first time in 4 years, Angie was outside the Twin Flames universe.
That's got to be hard right there. That first step, though.
You know how if your phone or computer is acting a little wonky, sometimes a
Yeah, a little bit of a commercial there.
restart is now. It's a
Let's see.
take your space. And the
Sorry.
price is
Commercials.
.com/flame.
Yeah, a whole 4 years. So for 4 years, yeah, Angie, good job. Exactly. For 4 years, she was spending all her waking hours, like spending money to send to these folks.
The deception, the end created by the community.
To Jeff and Shaleia happens of the twin.
There we go.
I spent 4 years like literally attacking myself with the mirror exercise.
4 years. That's how long Angie had been.
And see, yeah, Rabbit will tell you right there. For 24/7 caregiver for her husband for several years. When he passed, she was lost. And I mean, it's I think that also happened with my wife's grandmother. Is she was a bit lost because she had spent, you know, every day making sure that that her husband, because he lost his sight. It was the ocular degeneration, same thing that Ray Charles had, where it just starts degenerating. And so, you know, getting him up, getting him, you know, clean, you know, making sure that, you know, he's fed and things like that after probably close to 15 years. No, it was close to 20 years of doing that. She was a little bit lost without a rudder. And if you asked her, she would say that she was not sad about it, that it was something that she found fulfilling. And she also still had time to, you know, take care of herself. And the first thing that she did was take a long vacation, and got out of town, got away from home, spend some of the money that they had set aside for retirement, and do something for herself. And it was on one of those trips that she had a stroke. Really, really frightening for her daughter that was in the car with her. But it was something that they were literally, the next exit was a hospital, and took her to the hospital, and they explained that she had a stroke, and she got really good treatment really quick. It could have gone a million different ways. there was, something out there that had its eye on her. It's and Rabbit, see, now you're like warming my heart and everything, because it's like that's it's finding groups is, you have to be willing to open up to them. So, and I think that you've shown that more times than not, that you're awesome. Just awesome. That's why we like having you around.
Follower of the Twin Flames universe, absorbing the teachings of Jeff and Shaleia. They had taught her that you and you alone have control over whatever happens in your life.
You ask for everything that you get. You create your own reality and stuff like that.
It was this idea that first attracted Angie to Jeff and Shaleia. A week after she left the Twin Flames universe, Angie's dad passed away suddenly. She and her dad had been very close, and she was broken by the news. What's worse, she felt like it was her fault.
I had enormous guilt. Like, I thought, from the programming that I had somehow caused this by me leaving. But then I had to kind of do a step back from that and come on, Angie, get over yourself. How do you have the power to end someone's life?
Since then, Angie has been seeing a therapist regularly.
Real therapy with an actual licensed psychotherapist who will actually help me.
There we
It has
go.
helped Angie gain clarity on a lot of things.
I had red flags all the time. When I look back on it, they were there all the time. All the time. It was like screaming at me to wake up, wake the hell up. But I think that's why they brought God in, is because you can control people easier when you kind of bring in the big guns. They would say, this isn't coming from us. This is coming from God. You asshole, how dare you question God? So when I left, I felt completely duped. I felt very angry. I was almost like borderline atheist, right? I didn't want anything to do with anything God or spirituality or anything ever again. And it was finally I had kind of a breakdown. And I said, you know what? That's not the most upsetting thing, like losing my dad or losing my health or all these things that I've gone through over these last few months, right? The thing that hurts me the most is I lost my faith. And to me, that has been a huge part of my healing. It's okay for me to have faith. It's actually necessary that I have faith for my own healing and my own journey and stuff like that.
And as Angie has reclaimed ownership of her faith, she has also begun reclaiming other parts of her that Jeff and Shaleia had taken away.
I identify myself now as fluid or queer, meaning that I don't subscribe to either side. Some days I feel more masculine, some days I feel more feminine. I wouldn't consider myself non-binary. I still like to identify as my pronoun. I still like to identify as a woman. Never felt comfortable with the he, and I don't feel comfortable with they. I feel fine being Angie, a woman, but fluid. When you're pulled in either one direction, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. It's just don't fucking tell people who they are. Don't ever fucking tell people who they are. It's just sick.
Damn
Angie
right.
is also learning to let go of the hurt caused by her coaches and others in the Twin Flames universe.
That's gonna be a hard part right there.
I held on to a lot of really deep upsets and anger towards Keely for a very long time, even after I left the cult. But as I choose to heal, I have that compassion, because we were all victims and we were all perpetrators.
After leaving the group, Keely began speaking out on TikTok about the workings of Twin Flames universe. She says there was abuse happening behind the scenes.
Jeff and Shaleia are constantly on their followers' asses. That's what they do all day. They just hound their followers all day with this psychologically manipulative bullshit. It's fucked up and it needs to stop.
She has
Damn.
also been coming to terms with her own actions while she was a part of Twin Flames universe, especially her role in encouraging Angie's gender transition.
I didn't want to do it. I mean, you have to be sick in order to want to change someone's gender and their entire identity. Why? I don't want to do that. Even if I was being forced to do it, I still did the things that they asked me to do, which were wrong. And people still suffered because of that. I was intending to help someone. I actually thought I was loving them.
And it turns out she was telling them to, start taking things that you're not supposed to be doing to your body. And that's what she was pushing on people, to make a man more feminine or a woman more masculine so that they could find their true twin flame. This is where it gets a little bit darker. Yes, at least she's holding herself accountable, but she's never going to be able to reverse the damage that she's done. And I think that probably weighs on her more than just the rest of it. I mean, imagine that kind of weight on your shoulders of knowing that, you turned Jim to Julie, and there's no coming back from that ever. Yeah. Well, these people, the coaches fell right into their trap.
My intentions were actually in the right place. Does that mean that dismisses what happens? No, there are still victims, namely Angie and Victoria, who received these messages and received the pressure and received the coercion through me. I was the vessel for that abuse.
Yes.
And I will never let that happen again.
Other ex-members like Victoria Bonilla have been building their lives back outside Twin Flames universe.
I'll talk about certain things that happen, and my friend's like, ooh, that sounds really twin flamey. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not putting that type of label on it. It's just, if it works out, great. If it's here to teach me something to get to the next level, great. But there is no twin flame for me.
As for Katie, the Twin Flames follower who's arrested for stalking, her case continues in the San Francisco courts. Her ex-boyfriend William is still dealing with the experience too.
If I catch someone out of the corner of my eye who's about her height, the back of the head, I get freaked out. I got a tattoo because of it. It's a woman with a blindfold dancing with the devil. I felt like I needed a reminder to not put myself in trouble as much and to be a bit more wary.
Jeff and Shaleia are still talking about Twin Flames. Jeff looks different than when they first started posting videos. Now he has long dark hair and a long trimmed beard.
This is really like our gift to the world. Like, we're not out to make money here. We're out to help people.
We're out to love you.
And to love you.
These videos don't get more than a few thousand views on YouTube. But the comments below are all from passionate supporters who echo back Jeff and Shaleia's own teachings. Over several months, we tried to reach Jeff and Shaleia.
Hello, I'm from Wondery. I'm making a podcast about your organization. We're going to try again on another level.
We tried by phone and email.
This message is for Jeff Ayan. We're trying again to reach out to your organization.
We tried their lawyers.
Email, but we're hoping to talk with you. Shaleia from Wondery. We've tried numerous times through your
We sent certified letters.
Jeff, I wanted to give you every opportunity to respond to our reporting and some of the questions that reporting has raised. Other people have been telling us.
Every contact was ignored.
Welcome back to our channel. I'm so thrilled to announce this excellent opportunity to meet a couple dozen twin flame couples live in person.
Jeff and Shaleia haven't slowed down. 2 years after their last conference in Toronto, they announced that Twin Flames Universe would be meeting again in person. This time, at a place known for its mystical energy, Sedona, Arizona.
If you've never heard of or been to Sedona, Arizona, it is one of the hottest spiritual places on the planet.
There would be workshops, coaching, time to connect and catch up.
And here's the kicker. At the end of the service, we're going to have first in-person Twin Flames in Harmonious Union marriage ceremony.
Wedding.
Twin Flames wedding. Yep, we got by divine manifestation.
Order, yes.
The finest wedding reception venue in the entire state of Arizona. We got, what's the place called again? It's
I have a hard time even looking at them now. I'm so like,
What's the name of the
all
place?
I
The
see
finest
is just
place. But
darkness
what's the name of it
and what they're
again?
doing to people.
Today, Angie worries what they'll do
Oh
next.
no.
I just hope that it doesn't reach a level where people actually begin to get hurt. Like,
What you mean? People
more
have already
than
been getting hurt.
just financially and like spiritually, you know, I mean, like actually hurt.
It's all fun until someone gets hurt.
This thing called love can be so ambiguous, so enigmatic. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what it all means.
Oh my God. They had fucking AI write this shit for them. This thing called love can be so enigmatic. God damn it. Okay, I'm not going to get mad.
So we get our ideas about what we should do or who we should be from the people on TV.
If they say something about whimsical, I'm going to be just like even more pissed off because that means the AI wrote it for them.
Or the movies.
I would think that they're better than that.
Or those happy ever afters. Sometimes we're lucky, and sometimes we're not. No one really has the manual. But Angie, she no longer believes in the fairy tale.
I
Yes,
believe
it
that
is.
there are many people who are good for you. Like you can have like a happy life and a happy marriage with different people. It doesn't mean that only one person will ever like truly fulfill you or make you happy or, you know, or complete you or and whatever. I don't believe that anymore.
Still, her experience with the Twin Flames universe has not shaken Angie's capacity to hope and dream and love.
I still believe that I will meet somebody someday. I do believe in love. I do believe that it's in my heart to find love. I know that it's possible.
Hopefully that's not the end of that one.
From Wondery, this is Stauffer via
Nope.
Weber.
Nope.
Music, Apple.
A 6 foot by
Nope.
Of people.
Nope.
spiritual awakening.
Well, that's not going to work. So, bless Mark. Doggone it. So let's do episode 7. Are you ready?
Again. The invisible piece that you're not aware of is
Join Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app to listen to.
It's okay to believe in love, just not for stalkery love. Very much so. Very much so.
Twin Flames early and ad-free.
Flames. As you can probably tell, I'm not Stephanie Beatrice. I'm Brooke Sifrin, one of the hosts of Even the Rich. It's a series where we pull back the curtain on the stories of some of the most powerful and successful figures in society. Now, I am so fascinated by cults, and I've actually been reading a lot of Ever After. Those are things we can all relate to.
He was the first person that made me feel like, yeah, you're screwed up, but who isn't? And I still like you.
Yet, there were other parts of the story that were more difficult to wrap my head around, like how drastically people's lives can change, even over the internet.
I no longer knew who I was. I was just like, I was spiraling.
So what does this story tell us about how power and coercion are adapting in our modern world, and the lengths people are going to get what they want?
Well, that's not where
Well,
I
I've
wanted
got
it to
two
go.
special guests who've really thought a lot about these questions. First is Rachel Bernstein, a licensed marriage and family therapist who has spent over 30 years working with former members of cults and high control groups. Dare, an expert on queer. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So, okay, I want to start.
Was like someone.
What?
Well, that just like episode 7 is pretty damn horrible. I was enjoying
Not the same as this being a.
Well, okay, these are just people wanting to give you directions. Well, damn. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this down here real quick, and I've got another one for you, just to see, so you can sort of get a glimpse, just a slight glimpse at some of the stuff that I found, because it's pretty dark. So this is some people that want to talk about the Twin Flames group. Are you over on Discord by yourself? Oh, that's no fun. I don't like hearing that. Don't like hearing that at all. She had no direction now that she wasn't spamming all day. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Okay. So this is spilling the tea on the Twin Flames universe. And just so you know that these are two women that one of them is named Brianna, the other one's name is Adam.
Just our experience as Twin Flames Universe students. Hi, we're here to spill the tea.
Let's spill the tea.
Welcome back. We are going to share our experience as Twin Flames Universe students and go from there. Yeah.
Well, what did we came here for?
Well, I found Twin Flames Universe because I had woken up to
Nobody puts gutter in a corner. Nobody.
my twin flame journey. I didn't know what a twin flame was, had no clue that I had one, you know, and then I have this beautiful connection and runner chaser dynamic. How do I heal that? How do I resolve it? Searching all over the internet for help. I knew that someone had to be experiencing what I was experiencing. I spent over a year paying psychics, was obsessed with psychics, trying to confirm my twin flame and give me information about my twin flame. It was a rabbit hole, a never-ending rabbit hole. And then I found Twin Flames Universe. And what pulled me in was that everything that Jeff and Shaleia shared in their YouTube videos deeply resonated in my heart. And I knew automatically they're speaking exactly to what it is that I'm feeling and experiencing. And I could see in front of me, there's two people that had what I desired to have. And so I reached out and I become a student very quickly because I resonated with everything. And then I started my inner healing journey. Yeah. Do you want to share like how you found Twin Flames Universe?
Well, I was dabbling for a long time because I didn't dare go on YouTube because I thought I don't know, I don't even know what this is. I figured out about Twin Flames in around May 2017 or something. I just I Googled and I was like, but everything I read about like same-sex twin flames was like, oh, it's, you know, it was basically shit, you know.
Okay. No, this is a little disturbing. Just saying. Okay. I'm looking for love in all the wrong places.
Like, you cannot not have a romantic partner in your same-sex twin flame. I'm like, that's some shit, you know. Like, I ain't about that, right? Like, you know, because obviously if you have a desire for a romantic partner, you know, there is one for you. But then I finally mustered up the courage to go on YouTube and search same-sex twin flames. And a video popped up from some students of Jeff and Shaleia. At the time, this was probably October 2017, so it took me quite a while to venture on there. But
yeah,
I was like, oh, they're like, what do you call it? They're kind of speaking my language here. I could resonate with what they were saying, which
Does she sound like Russian or something? but they're speaking my language. Oh no,
like
she's
went
got a
through
weird
through
accent.
my heart rather than no, that's not a romantic partner, right? They were like, you can have, and this is it, and and then I got Twin Flames, Finding Your Ultimate Lover, and I read through that like a breeze. They were, I signed up for a session. They were like, okay, this book, and I already read it. I'm good to
Already did it.
Already did. Get me. How do I get started? Get me in here, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just kind of like know when something's you can feel it in your heart, right? This is it. Otherwise, you'll have like I'm a pretty skeptical person generally, right? I'm like
Russian to the Y. Cutter. That's right. Well, I mean, sometimes, some people need a little more loving than others.
checking things out, noticing. But sometimes you're just like,
Because maybe she couldn't find like a decent, like, what would you call it, a gay bar to go to that, was doing it for her. They were just all about getting, down and dirty right off the bat. Yeah, sounds like an accent, but I can't tell. Yeah. I mean, it's like, sounds like Eastern European.
this feels good, and I'm going to test it out. So
yeah, that's one thing about us is we're very much follow our heart and try it on and ensure that it feels good to us. And
I'm sure they tried it on a few times.
everything that we've learned as students in Twin Flames universe,
Yep.
it resonates.
Might just be I mean, let's put it this way. Somebody was plugging up a hole with their thumb. Somewhere along the way, somebody was plugging up a hole with their thumb.
As we have applied the work, the mirror exercise, the tool that we use, the spiritual tool that we use, our lives have completely transformed, and we would not have been able to heal separation without applying the mirror exercise, without doing the inner work. And if you are familiar with Twin Flames, then you know that it's an inner healing journey, and that's how you manifest your harmonious twin flame union. And as we healed, that's how we recognized each other as twin flames, because you get to know yourself on a deeper level when you know
Wolf. Yep.
yourself, then you naturally know your twin flame. You know the essence of them, and you recognize them in your heart.
Yeah, and we had quite a little.
Well, and here's the thing. They're giving all this credit to this little Twin Flames group. Now, if they would have just put themselves out there and not gone through something like this and sought each other out, they could have easily found each other through other means. Or found what they were into, what actually does it for them. They're giving too much credit to this group. Now, what's to say that Adam over here on the right side of the screen, Adam over here wouldn't have found like some other lipstick lesbian like her, that has more of the feminine qualities, because that's what this woman is interested in. She's interested in feminine women. Okay. Now, if you ask, I would guarantee that Sweet Cheeks over here has probably had bad experiences with guys that look exactly like this. Because even as a dude, this would not be an attractive dude. But yeah, this is Adam. This is Adam. Adam. Like Adam and Eve. Yeah, this is Adam right over here. So what's to say that this is the kind of guys that she's attracted to? Okay. She's not an unattractive woman at all. Okay. But more than likely, all of the guys that look like this, whenever they see a woman that looks like this, they're just like all over it. They're just like, "Oh my God, I don't know how to talk to her. I don't know what to say." That's what happens, because they're socially awkward. Now, say that, their relationship is bad. They found happiness. They're happy. They're attributing it to the twin flames thing. Now, if Adam would have actually, taken the time to go searching out, the lipstick lesbian, Adam would have been much happier in the first place. Oh. Hello again, Gutters Pub. Sorry, I'm dozing off from meds. Well, I'm not putting you down. There's a big possibility that they would have hooked up somehow, or they would have found someone of similar caliber outside of the Twin Flames universe. This was just the vehicle. It was the bar that they met in. It was the gay pride parade that they both went to, that they found each other, and they found that they actually appreciate each other. And it's funny because this happened on the 21st of December.
Finding out we were twin flames. We have another
See?
story time on that.
21st December.
Can link that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, and like how we met and how we figured out we were twin flames, because we had a little bit of a stretch and exploration there between us. So
yeah. So this
It's
video
she.
is just to share our deep gratitude for our spiritual teachers. Jeff
Look
and
just like
Shaleia,
this. I
and
guarantee
for
Adam
the
looked just like
teachings that
this.
they provide, because our lives have completely transformed in so many beautiful ways and continue to do so. And all of the things that have been said are simply untrue. And, you're welcome to reach out, ask questions, and we're happy to answer those. Yeah, do you want to say?
Yeah, just ask any question you want.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and answer like a lot of questions that we have received. We might as well.
Well, and so these two are what they call coaches. So for them to have a solid relationship goes really well for them, because people want them to be their coaches. More than likely, they paid a lot of money to get their little coaching certification or whatever, to give them all the material, to make extra money, to get some more people to join their little group. And I'll go into some of that a little bit later on. You just have to wait for it.
Just go ahead and answer now. If it was like a TikTok, I could like put the put the insert right here. But yeah, like, so some of the questions that we've asked is that, were we paired up? No. Like we just shared with you, I was guided. My intuition, I found Twin Flames Universe. Adam found Twin Flames Universe, and then
no, we weren't. Nobody had this conversation with us. You're a twin flame. Nobody had that.
That's not what people were asking. You joined the same little group, and it was like a dating app that matched you guys up. And you, geez. Okay. So say for example, I'm wanting to get well, here's a good example. I wanted a couple of YouTubers to meet up. So what I did is I set something up where I could introduce these two YouTubers, where they could communicate, and if something comes out of it, I think that they sort of share the same ideas about certain things. I won't go into it because it would just be weird. But just being the facilitator of setting these two people up so they can have the conversation, so they can get to know each other. And if something comes out of it, and this isn't like sexual, this is like business kind of stuff, that I think each would benefit from it. That's all the Twin Flames did for them. They were just basically a glorified dating app. It's horrible. Just woke up from meds, wearing off, taking time, get rest. Yeah, please, Rabbit, get rest. Please, just rest. You are absolutely fine. I've got other mods here. You can just lay back, listen, and enjoy the show. I don't want you overworking yourself at all. Please don't.
We figured that out on our own. So
yeah, like in us just following our own hearts and then doing the inner healing work, we naturally, like Adam was reaching out to me, you know, back in 2018, wanting to do a reading. And you even said, like, watching the classes, you'd be like, something about you, right? Like you intuitively know your twin flame. Like there's something about them that just draws you to them. You just feel magnetized.
No,
to
I'm trying to
them.
hook
I
up
felt
with
that
you
same
and hammer
magnetism,
it.
you know, as we were becoming
Jeez,
friends.
woman.
And so the answer to that is no, that's absurd. We were not paired together. No one is.
Do I know any sexy 80-year-olds? Let me see. Well, if you don't mind a one-legged man, there's always Michael Malloy. You know, he's a playboy. Just saying. He's out there. You could always go talk to Playboy. Just Farrell knows what I'm talking about. If you don't know Michael Malloy Rabbit, well, you know, he's several states away, but you know, I guarantee you show up, he would probably wet himself. Well, he might wet himself anyway, but we love Malloy. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. He's my age, and I was joking. No, I know you were joking, Robin. I was joking right back with you. You may want to stop by when he is not 80 years old. Jesus. Where is we? I love it. I love it. Why do they have to be 80? Why are so many people stuck on numbers? Jeez. Why can't you have a youngster? I know you know Malloy very well. But why are you stuck on numbers, Rabbit? What? I mean, you know, why? Is there something wrong with somebody that's older or younger? And my neighbor that is just turned 100 this year, he's happily married. So sorry I can't hook you up there. No, because love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Paired together. Everyone simply does the inner work and then they, it's you. You know, I feel this deep connection with, oh no, you know, and then you work it out, right? You keep doing your inner healing work and there you go.
You have to explore either way, right? You have to explore
Right.
with, you know, whatever's in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah. So what other questions?
Was I forced to transition? No. This is the big one, right?
This is the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was I? No. I shared some of my story in the open forum recently, I think. So no, there was never any conversation where Jeff and Shaleia were like, "You're a man, you got to transition now." Never a thing. I was asking my coaches at the time about it. I was like, "Hey, this thing, I'm feeling this thing," and we were kind of like getting paired together, and I could see like things from my life where that kind of made sense. You know, kind of like when you're in later years, you're kind of looking back on your life and things just make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, never have I ever had a conversation with Jeff and Shaleia that they have said, "Go change, go."
It sounds like a vacation for you, Rabbit. I mean, you just get yourself like an overnight bag and show up and say, "Here I am, guys. I'm bad. I'm so bad. Get some rest, Rabbit."
Go do the things, all that stuff, right? I have just like had a very supportive community in exploring myself, my gender identity, you could say. Well, myself, right?
All I'm saying is Rabbit could easily like just show up and be like, "Hey, I brought some chocolate chip cookies." Have her overnight bag. She is not going to be shy of a bed. She's not going to be shy of a bed. She's like, "Good night. I'm out of here, you asshole." I've dated older, but I'm seeing her 19 and 24 years older. See, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Whatever happens to appeal to you. I mean, that's and this is what I think the twin flames sort of zeroed in on, is because all these people are meeting over the webs. They're basically taking an online dating app to the extreme and making a hell of a lot of money off of it. Their twin flames is a little creepy.
This is kind of like what we teach is like you explore yourself, you get clear with yourself who you are, and just be yourself, whoever that is, right?
I like women that explore themselves, because I'm going to be exploring for damn sure. But if they know themselves, could be an interesting day. It'd be like dating your son. He is fish. Rabbit. All right. Let me put this to you here, Rabbit. I was working at a place in Atlanta, and right across the street was a nursing home / assisted living kind of place. And this lady would come in every day. She was 90, 86, 90, somewhere around there. And she had a 34-year-old boyfriend, 34 years old. And she wouldn't talk to me about it, but she would tell my coworker that was a young lady, because she was just like asking her if, everything is going okay. And she was just, I am so happy. It's like, oh, why are you so happy? It's good to see you happy. And she says, oh, I get my world rocked every night by him, pointing to the guy that was in his 30s. That's my Latin lover. She was getting something out of it. He was getting something out of it. I don't know the details, but she told me that later. I was just like she's getting it on with a younger dude, because she wasn't worried about the age. Just saying. I'd say he was a couple years older than both my girls' parents. That happens. I was a number of. Guess that's okay. Well, at least he's not a cousin. He's not a cousin. I'm messing with you, Farrell. I'm messing with you. Don't get mad at me. I'm just messing with you. We know you've gone through like the brother or sister kind of thing with David. And, I'm glad that you're working on number 4. Oh, Rabbit. I mean, Baker, damn it. Yes.
Like, okay, let's put you in a box now, this and that.
Yeah, we talked about this before too.
Oh,
in
I'm
another
sure they
video,
sell lots
how
of boxes.
As a little girl growing up, I was confused within myself, and I tried to be a boy. I wore boy clothes. I even considered chopping my hair off, and I was embarrassed of that I was a feminine, and I wanted to be. I was a tomboy. It's a term that you call like a female that's tomboy. And I was suppressing myself, right? Because I thought I'd fit in better if I was a boy. And then my twin flame was experiencing that same confusion, and you were being a girl, right? Living your life as a girl.
So you're saying that you're a couple of gay men. That's what they're saying. You're a couple of gay men.
Your twin flame is you. So it was manifesting in both of us, same way, just in different sides of the coin. And so as we've healed here, I've embodied my femininity, which is who I truly am at the core. And then that masculine energy is with Adam, which is what Adam is, healing.
This is what we resonate with. Right. So if it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine.
Exactly.
You do you. I mean.
Well, and Rabbit, I will tell you something. My wife's grandmother, in her, let's see, she would have been in her late 40s, early 50s, somewhere around in there. She lost her husband, and she never dated. She kept his last name. She went into a nursing home, and all of the gentlemen wanted to date her. They would go after her. They would pursue her. Her only love, and would be until the day that she died, was her husband, forever and ever. She lived to be the ripe old age of 99 years old. And she did not ever ever want to remarry or even consider being with another man. So that is absolutely your prerogative. However you want to do. They're playing Rabbit song. Good night, Rabbit. You sleep well. Yeah, I'm not convinced they weren't manipulated. No, they weren't. They were manipulating each other. One of my grandmothers never had another love after Grandpa died. My other grandmother married her college sweetheart after Grandpa died. Yeah, it's each to their own. I can tell you right now, if I lost my wife, I probably would never remarry. I just don't see it happening. Now her, on the other hand, I told her, yeah, most definitely, please remarry. have somebody around you. She said the same thing. Like, I want you to be happy. I want you to be with somebody if something were ever to happen to me. I was like, I don't know. It's really weird.
I could care less what you do with your life, right? Just be good, be joyful, and have fun, right?
Right.
But this is what we resonate with. So,
What's up with this resonation?
Yeah. Are there any other questions that we have gotten that haven't been addressed yet? Yeah. So another question that we got
Exactly.
is that are two feminines or two masculines.
When mine have their unfortunate accidents, I don't think I'll marry anymore. Thank you, Farrell. I needed that one.
Welcome to the community. Absolutely, yes. Everyone is welcomed. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you do with your life. Everyone is welcome in the community. It's a place where you can come and you can really embody your authentic self.
I bet they come and they come and they come again.
Really get to know yourself on a deep level, and you do that just through self-love. That's it. You love yourself. The way you do that is
you self-love.
Okay, well, you
I
identify
mean,
against that, and then you love yourself, and that's another thing too.
love
Is often
yourself.
referred to all over the place as a
Love
blaming
yourself.
tool or a faulting tool. That's not what it is, guys. It's a self-love tool. You find that part of you that's upset, and you have compassion. You have deep love. You be patient with yourself. It's a very gentle, loving thing. It's not to fault or blame. That's absurd.
Yeah, I just want to mention we had a couple of new people that were kind of like interested but super skeptical about the mirror exercise join one of our group coaching classes, and they were like very surprised at how gentle and peaceful the whole mirror exercise was. It wasn't what they thought it was. It wasn't, any self-blame or now you're responsible for
A self-love tool.
They were like,
yeah.
this is totally different, and they loved it. So I'm like, you can't like read about it and just kind of like make it fit, and you have to like try it on and maybe test it out.
It's a boomerang of coming.
Knows how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So never do I feel like I have to take on blame. Oh yeah, my fault. Like, no, that's
take
not
on you. Right, like that's ridiculous. That's nonsense, and that's not what this is. It's a self-love.
Yeah, and I feel like the people that actually do the mirror exercise in this community, if we were going around blaming ourselves all the time, we would all be like a bunch of like anxiety-ridden people who couldn't move or we couldn't achieve anything.
Yeah, you'd see like just a group of miserable people, but that's not it. You come in there and you see like a lot of like happiness and joy and love and people having breakthroughs on their journeys. Like that's all you see all the time.
Normally you have people that come into this work, or even people who are not in the work, they walk around every day blaming themselves for things and oh, is it me? Or it's probably my fault. If you of course if you live through traumas and things, you're gonna be living in that state. But
Oof.
I would say
Traumas. So many traumas.
how I live my life like that, because that was how I used to live. So
exactly. Good. All right. Well, I feel like we have addressed some of the questions that we've recently received, and you're welcome to pop more of them below in the comment section, and we can make another video and address those. And have anything else you want to share?
No, I think just if you
No, I think you shared enough, you crazy psychos.
We have a filter on there.
So they are very much into their sharing. What's up, savages? Good to see you, Jacob. Good to see you, Jacob. All right. Now is the part where it gets really interesting, because you're going to have Rumble for the next one. That's all. The only way that you're going to be able to see the rest of this one tonight And it's unfortunate that I have to do that, but there's more to come. Probably just about another hour, maybe more. Please don't. No. I have to. I would love to not do this. I absolutely would love to not have to do this. But because this particular portion of it is something that I cannot show. Don't tell me they get naked. No, it gets dark. Ew, Rumble. No, this is something over on Rumble that you want to see. This will be something that you will go, oh, damn. And then, of course, next week we've got another one that we can follow up with, and then we'll continue on with it. But I can't show it on YouTube. They won't allow it on YouTube. It's not my fault. I would do it in a heartbeat. I meant no for the lesbians doing another video. No, these are not lesbians. These are not the lesbians doing another video. No, we've got something else going on there. I don't do other sites. I will catch up next time. That's fine. That's fine, Hal. Appreciate having you here. This one's one you're going to want to see. This is definitely one you're going to want to see, because I'm like I said, I'm going to kick this thing over there, and it'll end over on the Twitter. It'll end over on the YouTube side, but it'll keep going on over on the other side over there. So just bear with it. If you're interested, the link is in the chat, and switch your phone and join you on Rumble, but I'll probably fall asleep. That's fine, Farrell. That's fine. You may not fall asleep once you start hearing it. So what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you just a short outro so I can get everything set up on the other side of it. Everybody, if you're over here on the YouTube, go check it out on Rumble. I hate having to do it, but that's how it's going to have to be. So sorry. And with that, I'm going to give you the short outro for all of you that want to join me over on Rumble. I'll see you over there, and, give a thumbs up, give it a little bit of love. There's the link. You're not going to want to miss it. Just telling you. See you in a few. Oh my, it's still over there on the YouTube, so let me remove it there, and